Okay. Um, you know, sorry, I just left a little bit there because, you know, as a target individual, we are experiencing some kind of humiliating. It's not really humiliating for us. It is degrading, but the humiliating things that these people have to do and to kind of break us down is sometimes comical, sometimes. Um, and that's perhaps why they use childlike individuals sometimes, or people who you won't respect. Um, and for me, in my case, they like to use them when things are kind of like embarrassing, and just like it takes some special people to try to vilify somebody or try to break down somebody in this fashion. So let me just start from the beginning. Um, I'm a target individual since August 2019. I've been a target individual with the V2K, and that means that my mind's been manipulated. My thoughts, my brain, my a lot of manipulations, even my actions. Some things I do. Sometimes I'm like, oh, they make me do this. Yesterday throughout the day, like in the evening, they were doing things to my tongue to try to disturb me. And with me, the theme has been the same: trying to turn things into pedophilia. They've done these things in these disturbing ways, uh, and they've done some nasty manipulation of the dreams to try to condition me. Actually, yesterday they made me have like like some weird dreams, and this is meant to degrade you. They have me have a dream, a sexual dream, with some kind of thing like this, half dog half human thing, and it's just disgusting. And then to just try to break you down, right? um and those are the people who you've seen my videos about. They call you nothing, right? When in reality, these people are truly the nothings. In so many ways, they've been. I mean, it would take somebody who doesn't respect themselves or try to get lost in a reality that is falsified. And for me, I'm looking at it as like, you think I want to trade places with you, right? You tell me I'm going to be begging, I'm going to be starving. Do you think at any point during, well, when you look at me starving, beg, do you think that it'll be a point where I'll be like, I want to live your life? This is the life that I want to live? No, I know these people are the bottom feeders and contracted by these entities that run this program, right? And this trash are the people they use to implement these tactics of degradations and humiliation. They try to break your ego. And sometimes when they try to do that is a little bit comical. Um, and then when you find the comicalness about what they do, they try to bring up the things that's gonna happen to me, like they're gonna frame me, then the person's gonna rape you, torture you, kill you with the knife that we're gonna provide. Out of everything, that's the knife, right? They're using this this as a target individual. Obviously, I'm dealing with director energy and technology that's like extremely sophisticated, extremely, like, I mean, they're doing probably things to my organs, and there's no cuts, there's nothing. I know something's being done to my body internally, but there's nothing. Like, I cannot. There's nobody's coming in and in person. So with this kind of technology, they just talk about, no, it's gonna be our knife, right? They do things to my brain. They can override my thoughts, and so they use these childlike individuals to try to make me subscribe to this. Like, oh wow, that's the really a night. Wow. And at one point, because the psyops is a lot of like, uh, I would say, this white, progressive, liberal type of like psyops going on, which is just a psyop. They come in all, like, all type of people are involved. It's just a psyop in the sense that if we involved, then this is not the same thing as when they torture children and women. We're different in that way, right? For some reason, that's what they think that's gonna be, but in reality, they will do that to women and children. And people in all races are involved in torturing me and torturing women and children. I mean, it's just a psyop, you know. And so, for me, they try to come up with ways to paint themselves in different fashions. It's just so nasty. But with me, it's been a lot of degradation in regard of like my like sexual in a ways, and try to turn things into pedophilia. As I mentioned, yesterday made me had a dream with this like half animal, half human thing. I don't know, and then it played my libido. So I decided to, and I'm gonna be transparent. And I think I could not tell the story of my degradation unless I talk about what they do to me, and the uh, the degradation, because they play with my libido, and you are forced to have sexual arousals. And as a person, I would rather take something that will kill my libido completely, but it's not happening. So they use my libido to mess with me, to disturb me. And so I decide to find ways to release that libido, try to get rid of the libido, but it doesn't usually, it's not a good idea, because what they do is that during that time, they try to mess with me. And so, first of all, it's so nasty. I don't want to, I don't like to watch porn, right? And in my mind, every time I say porn, they try to make me say child porn, because that's what they wish I watched. As you know, these entities in charge of this program are filled with pedophiles that actually download child porn on the government devices. And that's what BuzzFeed article kind of called out. So with me, they tell me they're going to implant child porn on my computer, on my phone, or whatever. And they call that being daring. You got to understand, this is the type of people we're talking about. And so these people who tell you how they're gonna implant child porn on your computer, on your phone, and then call that being daring, because remember the psyop, right? They're daring because in this case, this is some like progressive women that are just avenging, and child porn to them is just a tool to avenge. They're so disgusting, but that's the kind of people that are trying to create that psyop. I know it makes no sense, and when I see them, I truly call them pedophiles in their faces. At some point, some of them even call themselves saying like it's our pedophile. No, they don't even say that. They say it's our pedophilia, and they try to call me their pedophile, but they work for entity filled with pedophiles. So their pedophiles are actually the people who contract them, and me, they try to turn me into a pedophile, and meaning that they're forcing my thoughts in these pedophilia ways, and do things to try to disturb me in these pedophilia ways that they like to manipulate people to experience things. And they use these childlike people, right? And right now, as I'm saying that, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna lose," right? Can you imagine the level of losery you have to be? This trash who's telling me I'm gonna lose, like I said, is contracted by government entities, and her job is to implement this nastiness. She's a loser already. But because there's no way that a civilian can do anything about what's happening to him or her, this trash try to find ways to find success in this, as if there's like ways to, like this. That's the level of losery I'm dealing with. But you have to be strong. I'm listening to childlike individuals, cowards and bottom feeders, who even say pedophilia, as if like this is like it's okay if they do the pedophilia type of torture. They're so disturbing. But I'm here to help out and put things in perspective, because these winning moments, this success that they're having today, will end properly the way it needs to. So in the meantime, I like to speak about the things that's happening, because they want to live in that delusional reality they put together. So, like I said, they make me have like sexual dreams, and some of the dreams are nasty. Like there's like animals, things involved, and it's just disgusting. And so I wake up from that stimulated, and of course I'm like, and of course they also influence my thoughts. But at that point, it's not hard to make me think of, okay, I need to release myself, because this libido is just, I don't want to have that. I don't want to be around here feeling this strong stimulation. Is going to be bad at the end, because they're going to use that stimulation toward children of some sort. And so I decide to like watch something, but I don't want to watch adult content. I don't want to watch porn specifically. I don't think it's healthy. I don't like that feeling of, like, I don't think porn is good for you, and I want to like that's not something I want to watch. So I decided to, you know what, it's better, something better than porn is watch like a movie where there's like sex scenes, and I can just kind of that can be better, right? Because porn is just not, I can't, like, it's just, I don't like it. It just doesn't make, no, it does not make me feel good. And so I tried to watch a movie, and I watched this movie on this Prime thing, right? And I'm sorry to be graphic, but I need to talk about how they degrade me and how they try to humiliate me. And this moment is a way they've tried to humiliate me. And I actually filmed this thing that did, but at first I was like, should I talk about how it happened? Because I don't want to talk about these private moments, but because it's part of this way of breaking me down, I want to talk about it. And so I'm watching this movie, and it's on Amazon Prime thing, right? And so when you watch the movie, right, this they show all the casting people in the movie at the bottom. And so I'm not focusing on that, and I'm watching this movie. I'm watching this specific scene, and it's a sex scene, right? I'm thinking, I'm going to try to watch this, and this is better than watching porn. I can release myself, and hopefully it's going to calm down my libido because they've been cranking it up. This is the kind of things I have to deal with. I try to watch it and release myself as I'm doing it. It's just kind of like, first of all, it's a movie scene, so this is not, and so it's a movie scene. The person is a father first, so he goes, and you don't see the daughter. He goes and kisses his daughter, and then goes to the room with somebody, right? That moment when he kisses his daughter, they try to already crank my libido. They try to create stimulations that you can't even see the daughter. It's like a bed. You just could see like a little head hanging, but they try to create already stimulation. Like, that's disgusting. That's what they do. But let me just focus on the scene. So I watched the scene. I try to release myself, but just like it doesn't feel like something. Is just, I feel uncomfortable, and I do the motion of trying to release myself, and the scene ends. I'm like, okay, it's not gonna work out, and I still have my hands like from a private area, and I just look down for a second. As I look down, I see the actors in it, and one of the actors is a child, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's disgusting, and that's like, oh. And it's like, oh my gosh, they immediately try to aim whatever moment into that child actor. I'm like, oh gosh, this is so disgusting. And it's that. And they try to degrade me like that. It's like, oh, you see, that's proof, you see that, you see. And then they're like, no, remember what you did as a child. I'm like, Jesus. It's so nasty. And then they try to even like create scenarios. So how would it be if you were like not this? It's like, what? They try to create scenarios like, how would you react if you were not a target individual and if it was a different scene? I was like, listen, I will not care about any of that. I would just do whatever I need to do, and that's that. That would just blocked out. These people are disgusting. So I do believe they make me think of that. So this happened. They can control your thoughts and influence your thoughts. So they can try to make you do things that they can try to use to humiliate you. Even though this thing specifically is not as humiliating to you, especially, well, it's humiliating, but it looks more like what they do. It looks like they try to find ways to break you down. And so me just like, and you see that, like the sex scene, and then you just, when I'm done, when I'm not even done, when the sex scene ends, and I'm like, oh, it's not gonna work out. I still have my hand down, and I look down, and I'm like, oh gosh, and that was that. And they're like, you see, that's proof. You see, you wanted this kid. I was like, oh, Jesus, it's so nasty. It's so nasty. And they try to be like, oh, you see, we proved that, that's you. I have this thing. I can put it. I can show a blur version of what they did. It's nasty. And then you hear them try to use different tonality when they do things that are so obvious nonsensicalness. You start hearing them talking in these versions, like, no, there is, it's so you like. And they use V2K. When you hear me mimicking these ways of speaking, is because these perps use V2K to try. Well, they talk to you via V2K. The V2K has the device that can make you hear the voices of others, and it's this voice is remote. It's a technology that's been around for a while, and actually, it's been around for a long time. And so they use this perp. This perp utilize this technology where they can make themselves heard, but they're remote, and it doesn't. Sometimes it feels like they're next door. Sometimes it feels like, but they could be a different building. They can be somewhere others, somewhere else. They can be far from you actually, but feel like they're just like, oh, this person is just like at the balcony talking to me. You could go to the balcony, nobody's there. I was like, oh, okay. And that's this what this technology is keep like that. This V2K, you're gonna hear if you Google V2K, what is V2K, you'll see. And for me, some people say that they use bot. I think this is true because the constant is constantly happening. But for me, the people interacting with me are not. You don't. They like. I'm like, those are not like geniuses. Like, if these people have been created as bots, they're not like so they're like almost childlike, and like that psyop I talked about, but like a fraudulent version of it. Like, group of people who wants to feel empowered, some like not mentally balanced, try to create this like psyop of a reality they put together, trying to get you to accept. It's like, I don't know. The best way to describe these psyops or these people interacting with me is just like, do you see like when you see on TV or like when you see rallies of like super woke white 20-some-year-olds, and just like to the point of wokeness where they don't even make sense. This is the people it sounds like I'm interacting with, right? Those people who make being woke look bad, right? Those people that make woke, where black people don't even want to be woke, because like this is that type, like overly trying to make themselves appear to be, but like this feminist and radical, but in reality they're just trash and frauds and disgusting, and they want that psyop. Now they could be tomorrow a bunch of black men doing this thing, it'll be the same. Like, I know it's just a psyop, right? So for me, I look at them as like, okay, you're trying to create this thing, but the reality is you're part of this program. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to degrade me. You would do that to a woman, to a child. I'd see you truly for what you do. This is just the way you try to paint yourself. You want me to look at you guys as like this group of like, and please, there's a lot of Hispanic involved too. There's a lot of like guys too involved. So it comes in all different shape. But they use V2K to try to mix, sound in a certain ways. Try to sound in like, oh yeah, there is this proof. You see that? That's proof. What I just said. You see, it's proof. And in my mind, unfortunately, it's gonna be my logic and rationality is gonna be changing. So like, you see, and thankfully I have this, so I can be like, look at what they've done. I have the video where you see whatever scene, and at the bottom you see the actors involved in it, not in the movie. And the kid is one of the cast members, so you see that kid. And so when I was watching this, at the end, it just like made me look at, and I was still like in a vulnerable state. And I look down, because they have the ability to make you see things, make you look at things when they want you. If they want you to look at something on the right or the left, you can just feel like you wanting to just look. You just look, and then you just, whoa. They have that much control. This technology is extremely sophisticated, and it has the ability to override knowing your thoughts, control you, especially if there's subtle control. It can make you want to scratch here. You can just look over there. Make you, things like that is not going to be like, when you feel the urge of like, they can make you feel the urge of like trying to hurt yourself. Like that, it's not going to happen. You're going to feel the weird feeling. But the small thing, if they want me to go like, make myself a sandwich or get some, coffee, or, do something, go to the bathroom and wash my hands. Like this thing, I'll do it because it's just like, okay, they're the one influencing me to do that, but that's something I can, I will know. So that was something they did to me, to try to break me down. It's disgusting, and then they do this typical thing, like they make me think of, okay, watch, you should go watch porn or something like that. And then the reason why they make me think this way is because there's a baby. Thankfully, it's a baby boy. The thing is, they do this prefer type of torture toward boys and girls, but when they do girls, it's like, no, it's you, it's so you. When it's boys, not you, or something like that. It's because I have pictures of me holding a boy, and I kind of raised that kid. Not raised him, but babysat this baby. He was a little boy, and when he was a baby and all that, and so it would be like, oh, what happened there? What happened there? Of course they know, but and so it looks even more stupid. Versus girls, I haven't raised a girl. Not even raised, but I did not babysit a little girl. I did not, and so they can just be like, oh, that's really when you're with little girls is real, when it's little boys is fake. Because remember, little girls, remember when you were a kid, talk about me in 8th grade. Try to make me subscribe to it, and then they truly are trying to make me subscribe to this. It's like, oh, but remember, and create battles. So, but the reality is what they do to me, and it's nasty, right? But thankfully, that was a little boy, and that little boy, they did some nasty things, and I was like, okay, let me go look at the picture of me and the little boy I was raising or babysitting, and that's okay. What if it was a little girl? They'd be like, oh, I see, you would match it to you when you're a kid. Because what I did as a child, that one time was when I was in 8th grade, it's just they tried to use that as like, see, that's proof with pattern. This pattern. It's just you when you're like in 8th grade or even younger. I see it proof. It's nasty. It's just what they do. But that's the things they do. It's nasty. And to them, it's like, you see, it's proof. It is proof. And they try to use it in different tonalities. It is proof. Now, you gotta understand, these people have been humiliated by reality in so many ways. Me, I can just pull up and it's like, this is what they did to me. I'm watching a sex scene. I'm in a vulnerable state. I'm watching it on Amazon Prime. There's all the actors at the bottom. In the midst of me, like at the end, they just make me look down, and I see the kid and up. Nasty. That's the things they do. And so you see with proof there. You see proof. Right? Now, the reality is what they do to children is horrible. They torture them sexually. They do horrible things. They are renowned to do the pedophilia type of torture. They force you to think about children in a sexual way. That's why they wanted me to look at this child in this vulnerable state, so they can create sexual merging to create that. And because my brain is like that, they can merge things that just shouldn't be merged. But they also have these entities who actually download child porn in the government devices. And they're the one in charge of these bottom feeders. So for me, I have to deal with this degrading stuff, but the reality is like, well, who's really more degrading at this point? Is that me? Or is that people who are having to do these things? And that's what this psyop of like this, like they try to make it like feminism or strong, like try to be like, ugh, because it's degrading. I'm going to make a video and exactly show you what's going on. I'm going to blur the thing and I'm going to explain it there. But the reason why I make those testimonials is because I want to be clear and honest and transparent about how they break me down and try to mess with me. I want that when I can speak, when I can, like, I want this to be like, you see, that's what they would, this was what was happening to me. And they do all kind of weird things like that to break me down. And then you hear these bottom feeders try to tell me how I'm gonna lose, and they go through the scripts, which are like the tactics the CIA have been coming up with to kind of disorient the target individual as they put things in perspective. It's nasty, but I gotta be strong, and I understand that I could have been living their life. That was like 3 a.m. So that means somebody has to stay up and try to do these things. At 3 a.m, having to degrade themselves in these ways. To try to find ways to create merging of pedophilia and sex. Ugh, so nasty. Try to make me, and there's nothing for before that they would try to do something make me think of some nasty things they made me experience before and try to combine that with this like sex scene or something. It's just nasty. That's their job. I could be living this life, and they tell me I'm gonna beg and then I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be bombing. I was like, listen, all of that, I rather than having to live this disturbing life these people live. That's why they try to come up with a psyop where they like that's fierce. It's like they like hype themselves into like creating like escape reality. Oh, where it's just so fierce. Look like how fierce. Like look how fierce it is. When in reality it's just so bottom feeder. It's so trashy. And they try to hype themselves in this way. So like, well, we're strong. Look at, and then even used to now to yeah, you're gonna die, and then they're gonna beg you. It's gonna be our knife. I was like, you know, you die, you'll die too. This is so embarrassing to live your life. I know they're tricking themselves into coming up with ways to sound fierce and doing so nasty. This is the most pathetic. How many? Like that's the most pathetic way to live a full able. If you're able to live life, and this is the. These are bottom feeders. You are sad, pathetic, low life, and you can't even try to play this femme fatale. You torture women and children. They do horrible things to babies, and you're here trying to find ways to create and orchestrate something that's disturbing and pedophilia centric, and it's still kind of even almost comical. Bottom feeders, and that its entities contracting these bottom feeders are actually pedophiles. The humiliation is like long, like in so many ways. Well, they humiliate me in these tactics of torturing me and degrading me, but it's just that it's them taking action to do this. They humiliated themselves. So target individual, I don't want to be in this position. I mean, I don't want to be tormented this way. I don't want to be tortured. I want to be able to think the way I want to think. I don't have to be where I'm not manipulated. Things are changing to nasty pedophilia. Always when I'm forced to get dreams like that, when I'm forced to get stimulations in these ways and forced to and those stimulation aimed towards children and try to break me down with this nasty. I don't want none of this nastiness that they make me experience. And when I mean them, I'm talking about these people within this program that manipulate people in these disgusting ways to break them down. But at least I'm not living the life this low life lives. What they do, like what's life? I can't imagine living their life. I can't imagine enjoying my life. Like something will always be with me. It's just like I could never find peace. It's just too much, and on top of that, because of all this information I have, I know about who's running the show. I know what they've done to children. I know what they do to women. I know they do the pedophilia type of torture. I know these agencies are ran by not ran, but there's a lot of pedophilia. I know all of this, and I'm supposed to be doing this and be normal? Ugh. So I'm thankful that this is not what I'm doing. But I don't want to be in this position I'm in still. But it's this dignity in this. Even though it's not perfect, this dignity. Listen, I know my imperfection. I was talking about sex scene with this men and women, and they're just trying to find ways to like shift it into some pedophilia shit. But I know the real me, all right? I'm not proud of I'm not. I know my imperfections, regard of women. They just try to change that into something else, and that's disturbing and pedophilia centric. I know who I am. I know this is what they forced me to experience. I just gotta be strong. But I get some sense of dignity, because I could have been living life where my job is to do this. I'll be like, oh, our pedophilia. Ugh. To all my target, they just stay strong. Know that the day this trash gonna be reimbursed will come. And they're nobodies. They're nothing. Truly. They call you nothing, but when I mean nothing is so stay strong.